You probably can't even imagine it. North Korea and K-pop? Two words that should never exist in the same sentence. The most secretive regime on Earth. And the loudest, flashiest music empire in the world. How could they ever collide? But what if I told you they already have? Being a K-pop idol is hard enough, but chasing that dream inside North Korea? That's pure madness. In North Korea, listening to K-pop is illegal. Getting caught, prison, or worse. Every year, hundreds tried to flee, but out of 10, only to make it, the rest, executed. Along with their families. One defector said, "If they ever find out what I do, they'll kill my family." Some experts believe South Korea secretly supports these defectors. Not just for their talent, but as a political message. Look, even someone from the North can become a global star. Meet the first North Korean idols, Hyuk and Seok. Are the first known K-pop idols born in North Korea. They're now members of the group One Verse, formerly known as SB Boys. Kim Hyuk's story, born on March 3, 2000. His parents divorced when he was a toddler. His mom escaped to South Korea when he was only 3, leaving Hyuk with his dad and grandma. His father spent all their money on alcohol and bribes, just to avoid forced labor. In North Korea, everyone is forced to work. When the money ran out, young Hyuk started stealing cement to survive. Sometimes he begged, sometimes he stole. He said, "We had nothing but a roof over our heads." One day at a metro station, he found an abandoned lunchbox. Inside, some spoiled rice. He added vinegar and baking soda to make it edible. But the owner caught him and beat him up. Hyuk knew stealing was wrong, but hunger was stronger than guilt. In North Korea, stealing is a part of daily life. Eventually, his mom contacted him secretly. She begged him to escape. At first, he and his dad refused. North Korea had brainwashed them. But when his mom promised to send money every month, his dad finally agreed. So at just 12 years old, Hyuk began his escape. It took 6 months, even though North Korea and South Korea are neighbors. He had to pass through 3 countries to reach his mom. To protect other defectors, he never talks about his exact escape route. In South Korea, he went to high school, but faced constant bullying for his nationality. In his second year, while looking for a job, his father died from liver failure due to alcoholism. Emotionally crushed, Hyuk lost interest in everything. But after watching some rap videos on YouTube, he started writing his feelings into lyrics. He dropped out of art college to pursue rap. But debts forced him to work at a Samsung factory. That's when Michelle Chow, a former SM Entertainment producer, discovered his talent. She offered him a trainee position. Hyuk quit his job and trained full-time. Eventually, he became the first trainee of Singing Beetle Entertainment. And now he's the leader and rapper of One Verse. Kim Seok's story, born on June 3, 2000 in a city near the Chinese border. He escaped to South Korea in 2019, at age 19, while living in North Korea. He listened to K-pop secretly and fell in love with it. At first, he dreamed of becoming a footballer. But then, he found his true passion, singing. His escape was even more dangerous than Hyuk's, to protect his safety. No other details about his past have been made public. One Verse, breaking barriers. One Verse is the first K-pop group with 2 members born in North Korea. The group has 3 more members: Nathan from Thailand, Kenny, Chinese-American, Ado from Japan. At first, Ado was afraid of Hyuk and Seok. He thought people from North Korea might be dangerous. But then he said, "Once I got to know them, I realized they're the kindest people I've ever met. Kim Hyuk and Kim Seok are the first K-pop group members known to be of North Korean nationality. However, they are not the first defectors to pursue a singing career in South Korea. The very first North Korean defector to start a professional music career in the South was Kang Chun-hyok. Born in the early 1990s in Onsong County, North Hamgyong Province, North Korea, Kang experienced a harsh childhood as a homeless child. At the age of 9 or 10, he witnessed a public execution, a traumatic event that marked his early years. In 1998, when he was around 13, Kang and his family escaped to China by crossing the frozen Tumen River. However, in 2001, he was arrested by Chinese authorities. Through a bribe, he managed to flee China and eventually made it to South Korea via Vietnam and Cambodia. His family later joined him there. In Seoul, Kang studied fine arts at Hongik University and later showcased his work in exhibitions across South Korea, Europe, and Asia. His art focuses on human rights abuses in North Korea and the struggles of homeless children. Kang is also the creative director of an organization called Orium Arts. In 2014, he appeared on Season 3 of the hit TV show Show Me the Money, where he began to gain public attention. He later released songs such as For the Freedom 2016 and Vendetta 2021. His lyrics are deeply personal, reflecting his own experiences in North Korea. He openly criticizes the regime and its leader, Kim Jong-un, through his music. Kang believes that hip-hop, as a genre rooted in protest and raw expression, is the perfect medium for telling these stories. He uses both music and visual art to raise global awareness about the human rights situation in North Korea. Through his work, he hopes to provide a more authentic view of life inside the country and help shift perceptions about the North Korean people. These artists currently reside in South Korea and are protected under the country's legal and security systems. However, due to political sensitivities and the potential threat from North Korea, specific details about their security status are not publicly disclosed. Nevertheless, the South Korean government generally implements necessary measures to safeguard North Korean defectors. Has K-pop ever been performed in North Korea? You might be shocked by this question, but yes, it has been performed. On April 1st, 2018, during a brief period of détente between the two Koreas, 11 artists from South Korea performed 25 songs in about 2 hours at the Grand Theater in Pyongyang, North Korea's capital. This concert was titled Spring is Coming. The performance was part of diplomatic efforts to ease tensions between the two countries. North Korea used K-pop as a symbolic tool to show its readiness for better relations with South Korea, but this did not mean an endorsement of South Korea's culture or lifestyle. The artists who performed at the concert included Red Velvet members Irene, Seulgi, Yeri, Cho Young-pil, one of the greatest pop singers in Korea, Lee Sun-hee, famous ballad singer, Bak Ji-young, ballad singer and ost songs for films, Yoon Do-hyun, rock singer and musician, Choi Jin-hee, traditional Korean singer, Seo-yoon from Girls' Generation, singer and MC, Kim I-elyo, traditional singer, Jang Soo-young, classical and ballad singer, Kim Kyung-ho, rock singer, Young Seung-hwan, ballad singer. The audience consisted of 1,500 elites, party officials, military, and cultural figures from North Korea, with no ordinary citizens in attendance. Kim Jong-un himself, along with his wife, watched the performance from the front row. Red Velvet performed Red Flavor. The original version of the song was performed in South Korean Korean without any changes to the lyrics. After the performance, Kim Jong-un said, "I am not familiar with your music, but I really enjoyed it." Moon Jae-in, then president of South Korea, also said, "Music breaks down the wall between us." This performance was a hope for cultural and human unity. When Irene was asked if she was scared, she said, "Yes, it was really scary and strange. It felt like I was in a parallel universe, but they said they were honored to be the first K-pop group in history to perform in Pyongyang." However, later reports indicated that this performance was not broadcast on North Korean state TV, and ordinary people never saw any images of it, except for through underground rumors or international news that didn't reach them. If this story was shocking to you, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so we can discover the real behind the scenes of K-pop together. Secret Korea only from Halley Hub.